with voting having wrapped up for the 2019 GAC Legacy Awards on Sunday, we now spend this week talking to the winners. And at this time, we'd like to welcome in the athlete you chose as our Breakthrough Athlete of the Year from Southwestern Oklahoma State, Bethany Franks. Bethany, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, with the term breakout athlete, I think it certainly showed for you come March for the Bulldog basketball team. Just take us through how the year was unfolding, and then was kind of if there was what kind of clicked for you in March.
Everything kind of started going pretty fast once we hit March. It felt like we were always on the bus, always in a hotel, always on the court. But I'm not sure. I think our seniors just wanted it so bad this year that was kind of the click for me was, we got to get this done for them. We got to win this. Like, that was my mentality. As soon as I just could see it in their eyes that how passionate they were about just finishing and making it and just getting wins. And so it was important for them. So it was really important for me to play my role and do my part as.
And then certainly, with the way the season went, you were certainly one that was turned to for rebounding and for that back line of the press, and you were always way up there in steals in the game. But your offense is what seemed to turn out there come March, where that 17-foot, and even it got down to later in the year, staying at the 3-point line, really became shots that.
Tucker off a ball screen, doesn't use it, drives, pivots around, hands it off for Bethany, straight away, deep three, launched up by Bethany Franks, and she knocks.
Gave you that confidence come later in the year?
Towards the end of the year, we changed our offense just a little bit. We tweaked it to get me those shots. And Coach asked me, are you comfortable with shooting those shots? And I was like, if you need me to shoot it, I'll shoot it. So, everyone on our team can shoot it. And I think that's not always respected on our team. And so people forget. And so I feel like I got forgotten and it was open. So I took it open and it paid off. So just tweaked a few things.
To be fair, when they're going through a scouting report and they see Haley, Hayden, and Tyra, it's hard for you ever to be more than fourth on that list. So inevitably, you are going to have those shots available to you. Was there a game where it really started to click that this is a shot that I know I can hit for my team, and that I need to be somewhat selfish in taking that shot rather than maybe trying to pass off for even maybe a better look later in the clock?
There wasn't one particular game, but once we got to Hayes, once we were there, it kind of just that environment and me realizing, I can play in this environment. If this is the kind of environment we're going to play in and I can still, succeed in it, I can shoot anywhere, I can play anywhere, and it kind of just all clicked for me. But I was a sophomore. Freshman year was kind of, just learning the ropes, everything. So it was more of a confidence thing for me this year, just filling in a role, figuring out what my role is and what everyone needed from me. So,
and you mentioned, you mentioned Hayes. I want to jump back to the conference tournament where you end up being, the MVP for that week in Bartlesville. Just what were your, your thoughts going into that week? It had been kind of that barrier that the team hadn't reached with this group of players. And then it had to come as a surprise that the week ends up with you being named, the most valuable player.
Honestly, that whole week for me, talk that me and Coach had, it was defense. That's all we talked about was my task each game defensively, what I needed to do, because that's what I like to do. That's what I do best. And so offense came later. But every single game I had a different task. I had a person that I honed in on, and that was what I focused on. And it just worked out that offense came and defense came. So it just kind of all came together. I guess that's kind of when it all came together for me.
Well, you mentioned defense and you being tasked with that. Sure, even just expanding beyond Bartlesville, who's always provided you some of the toughest challenges defensively in the league?
Harding, Kelly Lamb.
I didn't know the answer, but I had a feeling you were going to lean that way. She is. What about? Obviously, is one of our strongest post players. What is it that just is so tough? Is it the array of moves? Is it that she always is different, relentless, or what is it with her game?
I kind of compare her and I sometimes. She's crafty. She can do pretty much anything. So you got to watch out. You never know what's coming at you. She can shoot it as well. She loves to bang. She's got her post moves, everything. She's got a whole list of what she does. And so in the GAC tournament, that was my goal, was, shut that down in every aspect. And so to get that win against Harding, especially, I'm not sure what we held her to that night, but it was a good defensive moment for me that kind of just came together for me, because that was my whole goal.
Sure. So then, the game with Arkansas Tech ends up being kind of certainly a one-sided affair. So there's not maybe the last-second drama that you maybe could have anticipated. Just what's that, a championship moment like that, like where for the last few minutes that this is going to be ours, and you're not stressing over how to secure the victory. The victory is already, yours. You're just letting watch that clock to wind down.
That was just nice for us as a team to kind of have our moment just together, of just, we did this and celebrate and not be stressed, like you said. So we got our time on the bench to kind of come out and give hugs and do everything. And that was a senior moment for me that opened my eyes, like, okay, so we're doing this. Like, let's go. We're getting Ohio. We got to do it. So that was a big moment for them, I know, and we didn't finish it last year, so we wanted to do that for them. So
sure.
It
was everyone. It's inevitable if you don't win your last game, then that last game always just sticks as a cloud. But I think even though it's only been a few months, as more and more time goes on, the whole season is what is more of the memory rather than that.
Right.
We don't want to talk about. So as you get to Columbus, like I said, I'm sure other teams on their scouting reports, have to have you, not priority.
Angling to her left, stops, goes back right, back to Bethany Franks. Deep three launched up by Bethany. She knocks it down. Second one of the ball game for Bethany Franks, her fourth.
And that's going to have to be my junior season. So I've come to terms that, that's going to be my role. I have to be great on both ends, produce night in and night out. And our seniors left a model for exactly what that's supposed to look like and how to do that. And so I'm appreciative for that. So yeah, just turning a few months into an entire season is what I've physically and mentally prepared myself for. So
I imagine if it hasn't been said so explicitly, that's what Coach Music and Coach Anderson expect from you now, moving into that upper class role to then foster the the newest teammates. That this was not a 1 year thing. It is a program expectation. So I can imagine that if you haven't heard from her, that's going to be something drilled into you and folks like Tabor and Tyra and some of your other new leaders, I guess is a better way to put it.
We've heard from them. We've already talked about it.
Well, Bethany Franks, as we wrap up here talking with you, as you're looking back on last season and you being tagged the recipient as breakthrough athlete for the GAC last year. This is where I turn the floor to you. This is your Oscar speech, your Grammy speech moment where you get to thank any of those that came out and voted with all of these awards being done online. So the floor is yours to thank those in the Southwestern community and anyone else who you'd like to give shout outs to.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Weatherford for everything. The whole season really come together and supported us as a whole. And so it's really cool to just have your community behind you. And I'm not from Weatherford, so it makes me feel like I am from Weatherford with just the support we have. So thank you to them, all of our fans, all of our ball girls that come, everyone that loves SWOSU women's basketball. Thank you, family, everyone. Thank you so much. Coaches, love you guys. Thank you, everyone who voted. So thanks.
Well, Betty, thank you for taking the time. It is very hard to repeat as a Breakthrough Athlete of the Year award, but perhaps, with some of the other awards we have put forth, and you having a couple more years there in SWOSU, we'll be talking to you again at this time, looking back on another successful Southwestern season. But thank you today for looking back on last year's run and last year's performances.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.